Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. Welcome to the new Play Ben.
Yeah, that just sounds like I'm launching a pornographic magazine.
Oh, are you not?
I mean, I could. It's just reprints of the horniest Magic the Gathering art.
It's just you looking at pencil sharpeners, but that's next podcast.
Yeah, way to.
Or actually, that one's coming out first. That one, they'll have heard that one. It's next
fair.
for us to record, but it will come out before this one.
Yeah,
because time travel,
and because I didn't look at stuff immediately and realize how chonky it was. I just agreed to things, as always.
Yeah.
But this was a perfectly timed podcast for recording, by my design. Naturally, I planned this. Our first ever episode was about Magic the Gathering. Hank went to an Ixalan pre-release, and you said the preview stuff for what is the name of the set? It's not Return to Ixalan. It's fucking what is
Caverns?
Caverns of Ixalan. Yeah. That preview starts today. So it's Lost Caverns, sure. Yeah. So
they start today when we're recording, so that'll be like 2 weeks ago. They were.
It's fine. I said recording. I gave the disclaimer. But you know.
So we're not going to be talking about Ixalan previews because those are not out as of recording, but they will be out by the time this podcast comes out.
Also, previews are like such a specific thing to talk
No,
about.
I would not plan any recording that had to be done in advance around previews at all. Because that shit's just constant.
Yeah.
Well, it's less constant than it used to be. There were like a couple of years there where it was like literally all the time. And they've calmed down a little bit.
A tiny bit. So I mean, really,
just enough.
Really, what got me, because Magic is for me is on like a giant pendulum. I'll go years without giving a shit, and then I'll go years where I'm like, yo, this is tight. What swung the pendulum back was discovering that pre-DH existed, and
sure,
not only is it pre-DH, and I love that kind of deck building. For those who don't know, it's just EDH, but the only legal sets are what is it up through New Phyrexia? It's everything
New Phyrexia.
Yeah, it's everything before the first official Commander supported products came out. So the first Commander set.
Hilariously, New Phyrexia is also like where I quit Magic right before Ixalan until like Ixalan, when you got me back with EDH stuff.
Yeah,
got me reinterested.
And I mean, for me, like the deck building is what I enjoy. I enjoy sifting through the cards and going through stuff. And lately with EDH, there was for some of my decks, like I had my enchantment deck, my Slivers deck and my Deep Sea deck were basically you're either looking for new random utility things like the Fairy's Protection. You're looking for new creatures of that type, which for Slivers and like Deep Sea Leviathans and Octopus, like they're super specific, right? We're not going to have 18, 20, 25 Slivers and Leviathans to pick through every set. But for like my enchantment deck, exhausting trying to keep up with it. And I wanted to, I liked for that deck, even for the previous iteration of that deck, of my Bestow deck, I liked keeping it optimal because it was fun. I built it that way. Or optimal for me. Obviously, I make little pet choices that are not exactly great, but I like the deck building and that need to keep up with stuff, or that weird drive to keep up with stuff because of the format and just how my brain works was like killing any desire I had to look at any of those decks. I didn't want to let them sit, but also just the idea of having to pick through and constantly update was annoying. And pre-DH solves that. I can build a thing, and you mentioned in chat, like, why can't I just build the deck or whatever? But like having it be part of a recognized format, even if it's a niche one like that, it's just kind of nice, especially for like searching on Scryfall and stuff.
Sure.
And the best part, the part that really sealed the deal, is that I can make these subpar, shitty pre-DH decks, and they're perfectly legal for EDH. It doesn't break any of those rules. So, like, when we played the other day, it was my pre-DH deck, and it did great. I had a 3-way gun pointed at everybody's face.
True.
I was playing Earl, and he got real big. And my secret to my Earl deck was that it's not just about equipping him, it's also about throwing him at people's faces with fling and other such effects. And it was great. That got me, like, that shit has me excited because I like building decks. I like playing too, I guess. Like, that's fine.
I would say both of my decks performed pretty poorly in that game also.
Well, look. You seem to have a lot of small creatures, and there was a Norn out, so
There was.
that seemed like
my dirtily deck's not good in the face of fast Elish Norn.
Yeah.
No ability to accrue value over time when I'm getting punched in the mouth every turn.
Yeah.
On top of keeping a hand that relied on Sylvan Library. Like, I did also keep a hand that didn't have black mana in my 2-color deck.
Jesus. I didn't know it was that brutal.
But I had Sylvan Library.
Well, and our original plan got kind of shot in the face because you built your trash EDH cube, but that took a little more setup than we were anticipating. And I
should
didn't
have.
have a ton of time.
I should have just let it go with the Frogtown choices for arts, but in my heart of hearts, I honestly just can't. I couldn't deal with that.
I think sometimes that's fine. I think if you're just building a cube with like different decisions.
No,
maybe,
when it's
but
like
cube,
we've last minute decided to play, like I should just do it. Like, what am I doing?
Look, you're talking.
That was me getting in my own head.
No, you're talking to the wrong guy for that because I'm 100% on board with that decision.
Like, what's the point of having shrink if I'm not using the Homelands art where there's a tall lady?
I need to check the art of a card, because I need to see if it's irrelevant.
And it would default to white border, Bird Maiden. So, it's basically garbage to ban.
Okay, see. Oh, they just have this. They just have Scryfall has like a completely wrong art for this in one of their links. That's hilarious. I was gonna say, like, what if you get the wrong art of burrowing? But apparently that's the only art of burrowing, so you're good. But the principle stands. Like, the point of burrowing is not its effect. Enchanted creature gains mountain walk. It's the fact that it has a dumb fuck Mark Poole creature on it.
Yeah.
So
no, like, there are cards in there that are only there because of their art.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, so I agree with that decision. Just the timing was a little wonk.
It took an hour, so I don't know that it was worth it.
I mean, no, it was worth 100%.
I also had to figure out how to get it into. I did spend some time figuring out how to import it properly into Frogtown because Frogtown didn't like the formatting on most standard exports.
Gotcha.
And I did figure out the answer, which is to export it into a off Scryfall into a spreadsheet and then copy the column of names and then put that in Frogtown, and that was in a format that it liked.
For what it's worth, when I just like copied the card setup from Moxfield, 0 issue.
Oh, Moxfield also worked? Okay.
Yeah, because they list it just. I forget what their options are. They have like an arena export, an MTGO export, and then just a copy to clipboard. And their copy to clipboard just works.
Well, were you using double like cards with like adventures or anything? Because those are the cards that it has trouble with, the 2-part cards that were giving me trouble. And some of them are formatted differently.
I don't believe I would have been.
Yeah.
No, there's
So like it's if I were using that like a normal just cards that weren't adventure cards or or double sided or modal or whatever, it
Yeah.
also would have worked on
Hmm.
anything.
I'll have
But
to
those specific cards were what gave me trouble.
I'll have to see if it works with that. I'll like plop a card or two in and see if it copies nice. Because
Yeah,
I don't know, it might or it might not. Because yeah, I do remember it didn't like those.
yeah, and those none of those cards are pre-ADH.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have encountered
Well,
those.
I guess there are some because like fire and ice, like invasion to split cards
Yeah,
fall under that. I
yeah.
think
There's
those
some
are the
stuff that comes
earliest,
up.
but much fewer.
Honestly, if I was going to do,
And I had like every pathways in that
yeah,
thing. So
yeah, you had a lot. If I was gonna, if I was gonna amend pre-DH for myself personally, I would absolutely do what you said that I just wanted the Theros in it. Not even Theros. I just want the nostalgic shit in it for me.
yeah,
So actually, I think the more important set. Well, Theros really enamored me. They look, man. You know how I feel about Celestial
you can't
shit.
do
They
Bestow
gave
without
me,
Theros.
They gave me Celestial. It could have been anything. It just happened to be that mechanic. But like they gave me Celestial creatures. Like they're made of stars. How am I saying no to that? You saw me drop countless dollars in Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah,
But my real nostalgia is
you love Star Wolf, Lord
do
of the
they-
Wolves.
do set names start with the first? Do block names start with the first set or the last? It would
Block names start with
be
the
first,
first.
right? Yeah. So Gate Crash, block
Uh-huh.
was like my first. That was like I guess return for lack of a better word, because technically I started around Zendikar World Wake, but I didn't. That was like just me and my friends buying starter packs and shit.
It's Return to Ravnica is the block.
Is
for
the
that
block?
one.
Oh right, Return to Ravnica was first though. That's just me messing that up.
Yeah.
Because my first.
I think the reason that one's weird is because Return to Ravnica and Gate Crash are big sets, and then Dragon's Maze is a small set.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. Because Dragon's Maze
Which
was my
is
first
weird.
event. I pulled
That's
a,
when yeah.
pulled a Voice of Resurgence.
Dragon's Maze, like one of the worst sets ever made.
It was fun as a first set. Look, here's the thing. I didn't know.
Well,
When
it's
you're
just
new-
tiny. Like it just doesn't have that many cards.
Yeah, but when you're new, none of that shit matters. Which like
That's true.
that's definitely informed my perspective. Like when people get a little bitchy, and I even have to check myself sometimes too. But like, in fairness, I'm talking about Magic with people who have been playing Magic for a long time and who are like franchise
Yeah.
players. But in an in-person
Well, also,
event,
I don't have personal feelings about this block. I wasn't playing during this era.
no, sure, but I'm saying like for all the bitching that I do, I recognize that like in an in-person event, you should never be bitching, you know, or you should keep it quiet
Yeah.
or something, because you never know when there's a new player who's like, "Yo, this is so sick." Like, I'm not gonna complain about the Doctor Who set if there's someone there who's like, "Yo, this is incredible." I'm not gonna be like, "Well, actually, it's kind of shit." Like, that's great. They're getting into a new thing. I don't want to dump on them. I'll just beat them at the game and then I'll go on.
See, this is the problem with all discourse about Magic the Gathering on the internet.
This
Is
all
it's
people who are grumps?
it's the insular. It's everyone making this choice and focusing their complaining here. Whereas, like,
Yeah.
and it's like, in the grand scheme of things, it's a small percentage of the total number of people who play Magic the Gathering.
Oh, dude, that's just true for anything though. The amount of when I was still on
Yeah.
Reddit, the amount of people in, like, for example, the Pokemon subreddit, the amount of people who think that they're like the players of Pokemon was kind of insane. Like, you're not. That subreddit has like 10 million people. Congratulations, you form like a % or whatever of the Pokemon player base. Like,
So
you
the
have
one
no
internet
impact.
communities that I will say this is not true about are comic books, because
Sure.
the number of people that read comic book like that buy comic books weekly is so goddamn small that the
Yeah,
people who
no,
complain about comic books are actually people who do not buy comic books. It's actually reversed.
yeah, no, there's exceptions, but like Magic certainly, like it was
yeah.
nice occasionally seeing the people who are like, you guys need to check yourselves, like you're not you're not even close to the majority. The majority
Yes.
player base is still people who never fucking interact with other Magic players ever, unless they stumble into one while buying cards.
Oh, and they might
That
go
might
to
be
it.
changing now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I know at one point that was true. There was whatever.
But I mean, I've just even heard from like content creators like that when you go to a Magic event, even you encounter like people who just aren't on the internet in that way.
Oh yeah.
Like the kind of discourse you get is just completely different. Even at that, even that like that still niche level, really.
Yeah. Also, I mean, part of that is, well, part of how I feel about that sort of stuff in the in-person events, I guess, maybe I was going to say it's fortunate. It's a double-edged sword. The game store I'd go to did have, like, there were quite a few, like, actual kids that would show up. Like, I've gotten my ass kicked by an 8-year-old before, and in the card game, too. So that, like, that shapes how you tend to feel about playing in person with like a random group and shit, So like
I've only destroyed a small child once at a pre-release.
Damn,
maybe twice.
Did you beat him in the card game too? Yeah. But it's it's fun. It's not. And also, I was a kid once. I guess when I was,
True.
I mean, I was gonna say when I was playing.
I mean, the idea of a kid knowing the actual rules to Magic the Gathering blows my mind.
Yeah, there was
it took me so long to know the rules, but also like once they're computer game versions, it's so much easier. Holy shit.
I mean, when I was playing, the couple of kids that would show up were like completely advantaged rules wise because their dad was like a regular player. Mm-hmm. So like, he obviously was teaching them and stuff. But it was
I learned the rules of Magic from people who did not know the rules of Magic at all. So
yeah.
the first time.
It's like me and you had Magic, me and my friend played Yu-Gi-Oh. You just fucking do it.
Yeah.
You just go. You're just you're just playing those. You're slapping those cards down, man.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh! I also learned from a GBA game.
I mean, if anything, I would have learned Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit from the show when I happened to catch it, but the only thing that would have taught me is what Pot of Greed does. You draw 2 cards.
True. Look, they started kind of following the rules in the second season.
I saw...
It's the plot twist after... It's the greatest plot twist of the show after Duelist Kingdom is over. Battle City, Kaiba's like, we're playing by the fucking rules. I've read the rule book. My tournament will follow rules. There's structure to this. It is not just make some shit up on the fly anymore.
That's amazing. I mean, I saw a fucking... I don't know what to call it. Not an abridged. It's
because that's a point at which in the manga where they actually made the card game as opposed to it just being made up.
Yeah.
I
well, because there was the original anime that like followed the original manga stuff, where it's like just the variety of shadow games. Because that's the only shit I read. No, I saw a clip that was comparing. I was thinking about it in comparison with Magic too. It was like modern versus classic Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like someone did a little voiceover and actually a well edited clip of Kaiba and Joey playing, and like Joey's been out of the game for a while, so he still just has his shit deck from whatever year, and Kaiba's rolling like all these fancy words, and he has like he's taking a 20-minute turn, slamming things into the
Pendulum
graveyard, special summon from his extra deck, fusing all this random shit and then popping off and all this, and then Like Joey has one card that prevents him from declaring an attack, so Kaiba's like, okay, you can take a turn. Like, and he plays a single card or whatever. And I'm like, it's so interesting that kind of, I don't know, I feel like Magic hasn't changed as much as Yu-Gi-Oh has, just maybe because of like the evergreen words, you know? Like, it's changed a lot, of course, and you have new stuff, but it
I
doesn't.
would have said that around Ixalan. I think
Now you think it's past that hill?
It's changed more. Well, just like think about just new cards have so many words. Like they gave up on the big thing is that changed their mind is that they've realized that starter products don't need to be simple, that's not the way to get people into the game. Because Commander is the most popular thing and it's the most complicated form of Magic. Yeah. Whereas like they used to go out of their way to make starter products that were simple.
Yeah.
And like had fewer words on the cards. And now they just print more words on the cards. Like they haven't printed a vanilla creature in a long time.
So
and even then they weren't doing it very often.
The thing that
besides the giant Yargle Multani. Yargle gets to be vanilla because he's Yargle.
Yeah. Which is amazing. Incredible.
It's like being vanilla is incredibly special now.
I guess the thing that always stood out to me was just like,
hashtag bring back Wishcoin Crab.
I think
that's like the last vanilla creature that mattered in draft.
I think the fact that Magic does like the keywords and all that shit, just it goes so far in making things feel more simple. But maybe that's, I'm also my bias is that I'm a Magic player. Like it's easy to say it feels simple.
I mean, I will
know the keywords
with like the Lord of the Rings and the Doctor Who thing. Both did this, but they put out previews for cards, and I read the cards and had no idea what they did because they previewed the cards before they previewed the mechanics.
Oh yeah.
Like so you're just reading like the ring tempts you, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
I remember doing that too.
And like the there was the Doctor Who one that like incredibly looked like a fake card because it was like us. I really want to find this card because I want to read it.
Fake card.
Visual spoiler.
Like the art also looked fake, or it just looked like someone's made up.
No, just the
bullshit?
the rules text. Oh my god. Scryfall, Doctor Who. There you go. Where is this fucking fake card? Oh my god. There it is. The Girl in the Fireplace.
Okay. I'm ready.
It's 3 mana. Enchantment Saga. First one. Create a 1/1 white human noble creature token with vanishing 3 and prevent all damage that would be dealt to this creature.
Okay. Sure.
2. Create a 2/2 white horse creature token with doctors you control have horsemanship.
Okay.
Bringing back horsemanship.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Like you do. 3. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player this turn, time travel. And they thought,
and they just don't
there was
elaborate.
nothing out there about what time travel was.
Incredible.
There's no rules text.
Could you know what this has me thinking about? People created an entirely fan-made Star Wars set. Like fucking 10 years ago or whatever. I'm sure they'd done it before that, but like they got together and like, I don't want to say made an actual one, but like it's curated, right? They got together and balanced this shit and like put effort into it. That could happen now. Like that could just be a fucking set Which is, could you imagine going back to like any time like 8 years ago or whatever, and being like, "Yo, here's Doctor Who." Someone's like, "Damn, this is like pretty well made for a fan thing." I don't know. It's just wild to me that like people have been doing that for how long, and the shit came true.
Mm-hmm. It's technically Slivers came from a set a designer made before he worked for Wizards that Wizards then bought and then used a bunch of the card designs from.
Oh,
and one of the
so
things
that's
in
why
there became Slivers.
So that's why it's the best.
I don't think they had any of the flavor of Slivers. It was just that idea of these parasitic creatures that like all
Slivers
had the effects on each other.
Slivers are still the best. I might, not even might. I mean, I say I might, so I can like absolve myself of responsibility. But like, I probably will just have my pre-DH Sliver deck, which I like because it's classic. And I really like I mentioned to you in text, the setup is kind of like closer to what my original Sliver deck was, because that was like just after we got the M14. I think it was M14 Slivers. It was like around that time.
It was M14 and M15.
M15, yeah, because M15 had High Floored, I think, or four. No, one of them. It was that period.
I think it was 14.
So like when I was assembling that deck, I think when I discovered Slivers, I'll say, and was like shit, and then I discovered EDH, and I like had both of these facts in my hands, and I was like, what if I put these together? And so like when I started,
it was 15.
Hell yeah, got it in one. When I started putting shit together, you know, that didn't exist, and then it came out, and I was like, oh man, this is incredible. Like, I still really like Slivers just because I want them to be everywhere. So I'll probably make like a up-to-date version of that deck.
I still have my old Sliver deck that was 60 card, but for Chaos multiplayer from high school deck, mostly sitting in those same sleeves.
Hell yeah.
Because I don't think I had any. I like didn't even have any utility cards in that deck. It was just Slivers.
What did they come out? What was the product that they came out recently with Slivers? Because it wasn't an EDH deck, right? It wasn't like a commander deck.
Yeah,
it was like
it was a commander deck.
I thought it was.
It was a commander deck.
I thought it was like a weird.
It was a Commander Masters commander deck.
I thought it was like a weird sub thing for some reason. I don't know.
Nope, it was just a commander deck.
What were the other decks?
That's it.
What were the other decks in that set?
There was an enchantment deck.
Christ.
An Eldrazi deck, though it didn't really have any. It was like big colorless stuff. People complained about it, and then there was a fourth one that I don't remember.
Man,
I'll look it up.
How much do those fucking cost?
Well, they were kind of expensive and they weren't great.
Has the price come down?
Not on the Eldrazi one. The Eldrazi one's the expensive one. They're like 40 to 50. Right. The other one was the Commander Guff deck.
What the fuck is Commander Guff?
He's like fourth. He's like a Magic the Gathering character who's fourth wall breaking.
Oh, okay.
He's like been in the like he's like deep Vorthos knowledge. It's hidden knowledge.
Was this
before this?
It was Commander Masters.
Yeah, Commander Masters.
What? All 4 decks are $315.
Yeah.
God damn.
They're also they're super overpriced because none of the singles are that good.
And
but again, mostly it's Eldrazi Unbound is like $100 on its own. It's like 110.
Fucked up by not giving the actual names of these decks. Eldrazi Unbound, it's fine, it's average. Enduring Enchantments, it's fine, it's average. Sliver Swarm has the benefit of being slivers, and so it's above average. Planeswalker Party is top tier.
Sure.
Planeswalker Party. Can I just get like...
Yeah, but it doesn't involve saying Commander Guff.
Yeah, I'll take that. Like, that's worth.
Or Commodore Guff,
Slivers actually appears to be the cheapest one out of these. No, wait, is that not the Sliver?
I think
one?
the enchantment deck was the cheapest
Enduring
one,
enchantments.
or maybe Guff.
Quick
I
look.
don't know.
Sliver Swarm. This doesn't look like a sliver. Oh, because the commander is a new one, isn't it? Yeah, Sliver Grave Mother.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted to buy it. I mean, I was tempted at the time too, just because it'd be like it's a solid base and like Sliver's easy upgrade shit.
No, I was excited for these decks until I saw the list, and they weren't juiced at all.
Sliver is so easy
So
to
I didn't-
juice, though.
Well, they didn't. They just made like 5 new slivers or whatever. I do want to get one of the. I need to get Ruka Morel biologist out of that deck though.
She's in the Swarm.
Yeah, she's like a human. She's like the one. That's the character that like created slivers, I think, in the lore, or something, or was like instrumental in early. She's on like. She's only been in flavor text before this.
Gotcha.
She like studied them early or something. So I want to make a Sliver and Time Lord Doctors EDH deck. Because that was the thing that got me over on the Doctor Who decks, was building that deck. Because that's so stupid.
See, this is the
Because her whole thing is like, because that commander's whole thing is choosing a creature type, and then creatures of that type and slivers get bonuses or whatever.
what is the MSRP of these sets?
There isn't MSRP. MSRP doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist anymore. They can just fucking
No.
slam it. The
Yeah.
cheapest I've found.
I mean, like the thing that sets it is what they charge distributors, which I don't know offhand. But
gross.
yeah, it's not ideal.
I mean, because that was
I know I know the margins on selling Magic product after acquiring it from WotC are not great.
Yeah. I mean, actually, what I could probably find.
Commander, for whatever reason, Commander Masters and the Lord of the Rings sets are both, I just think, too expensive for sealed product, given what all the singles cost.
Yeah, I mean that was the problem.
In like a way that's like outsized of the sets around them.
That was like the problem for a while. Was like they've had issues.
I don't know when you're thinking.
They've had issues for decks being like underpowered based on the price that they would be at. Why does this say it's fucking... Oh, there we go. I was like, why does this say the deck is $40 and where is it? But I was on the MTGO tab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this shit's like $100. Can I get the... I want to wait to see like the... I want to know what the money cards are in the deck.
I think in the Sliver deck it's the face card specifically, but cards by set. I'll have a link for you in a moment.
Yeah, I'm looking. I mean, they got some of these.
Commander Masters.
None of these are fucking actual slivers. Siphon
Oh.
sliver is $4. Okay, so some of them are. Hive Lord is 10. Synapse sliver seems to. Oh, these are reprints. These are the biggest reprints.
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted like the full list because some of the.
Oh,
new
the
slivers
cards
are
by
cool.
set page only has regular Commander Masters. That's annoying.
Yeah, man.
My
It's weird.
local source is not. Here's the breakdown for the decks. You just kind of have to sift through it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Eldrazi Unbound deck is slightly inflated because they put wastes in it, and for whatever reason, wastes, the colorless basic land, is kind of worth money.
That's weird.
In that it's like worth $1, so it adds up when you put in 15 of them.
Wait, which is this? Oh,
This
it's
is all the.
this.
If you
See,
scroll down,
I was
it's all
looking,
the
I was
list.
looking through the first one and I was like, I don't see the slivers, but
Yeah,
okay,
the
they're
sliver deck
separate
is at the
lists.
bottom.
Okay, yeah. I mean, even
Or
look, $10 isn't that bad for this kind of deck. When I was talking about wanting to get like the old cards, like just have a actual one of each collection thing to put in a binder and look at, I wouldn't necessarily want to pay $10 for that. Some cards, Bird Maiden, I could maybe be enticed, but that's even a specific case of I paid 30 cents for this at some point, so I don't really want to pay $10 for it. But in a Void, if there's art I really like, I would maybe consider it. But for just building a deck to play with, like $10 in that, like these are cheap fucking cards. Like there's so few that are over even $1.
Yeah.
And even the ones that are,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just,
give a
you know,
shit. Like
yeah.
Windfall. Windfall is $4.30. Each player discards their hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. I don't give a shit about that in my sliver deck. It has nothing to do with slivers. Oh, that's right. We did get
What a weird pull.
What do you mean?
Just to put in this specific deck.
Ah, yeah. Well, they needed some utility, right? God damn, they're how many lands are 37 lands, huh? 43 creatures. I fucking respect it. See, that's the thing. Now there's enough slivers where I could just I make a sliver deck that's only only slivers.
Hell yeah. I really like Lazotep Sliver, which is one of the new ones.
Sliver
That's the
creatures
one
you
I
can
like the most.
3 and a black mana, 4 cost. Zombie Sliver, 4/4. Sliver creatures you control have Afflict 2. Whenever a non-token sliver you control dies, amass slivers 2. That's sick. What's Afflict?
Afflict is the
whenever-
Amonkhet thing where like they lose life.
Whenever a creature
if it
with
gets
Afflict
blocked.
2 becomes blocked, defending player loses 2 life.
Yeah. Those are both Amonkhet. No. One was Amonkhet, the other they're both Lazotep themed,
Yeah,
basically.
Oh, that's
Because
that's a really good
the
one.
army thing was from
How
later.
is this
but
only
it was
$1?
coming from.
How is it only $1?
It's only $1.
It's so
It's not played in. You can't play it in modern. It's not. It's only going in sliver
Sure,
decks.
you can play in modern. You can do whatever the fuck you want in modern.
No,
You
it's
could
not.
lose-
It's not modern legal.
Is not modern legal?
No, Commander products aren't modern legal.
Oh yeah, I
They're
guess.
legacy legal.
I suppose. See, you can play in Legacy. There you go.
You can play it in legacy.
Easy to get into format. Or like the other money card in this, it would be so.
I mean, legacy's mostly new cards except fucking original
It would be
duels.
so much cheaper to just fucking.
Force of Will.
Do they even
maybe.
have any of the other sliver like the lords in here? Man, they don't. They have they have Hive Lord, I guess, but they don't have Overlord and they don't have Queen.
Yeah. I think Queen is
Is that
reserve list.
oh yeah, Queen is reserve list. That might be one to proxy. What's
Silver Queen's incredibly expensive.
yeah, has everything $310. Oh my fucking god.
I have 2.
Jesus. I want a price history. Oh, that's tabletop. I need tabletop. Price history. 2018. Because when would I have bought this? Like, it wouldn't have been around right. I probably bought it for like 40 something. Yeah, it had to be because M15. It was like it was $40 exactly when M15 came out, and then it bumped up a tiny bit, presumably because of Hive Lord. And then what the fuck happened in 2018? Something. Return. What was the second Ixalan set? Was it just Return to Ixalan? Not Return. The code is RIX, and I forget what that set was.
Rivals
Rivals of Ixalan or whatever. After that came out, like 3 months later, Silver Queen jumped to 74, and then it peaked, and now it peaked at 600 apparently. And
Around, like, slightly before Strixhaven, it looks like.
yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. I mean, that's the problem. Of
Which
looking
is
at all
like,
the-
that's pandemic, so
yeah.
that's just pandemic
this
era.
is
Like
just-
lots of stuff was spiking.
This is why I joke that I can put a price on my marriage.
Mm.
'Cause shelling out that deck, like piecemealing that deck over time, literally paid for so many plane tickets.
Yeah.
Not even all of them were related to going to see Anya. No, that's fucking ridiculous. And like, see,
That's
that's the thing.
stupid.
I would have no qualms at all about just proxying that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not paying that shit. Not anymore. Back in the day, absolutely. Go all in. Man, did I even have... Was there... Actually, I would need Scryfall for this. I want to see if there was a foil Sliver Queen. I don't think there was.
What was the...
Oh, I guess...
I don't think
Command or
Exodus
something?
had... Yeah, Urza's Legacy is the first set with foils. And that's
well,
the later.
Commander's Eternal Overload. When was... what
Sliver Overlord would have a foil, yeah.
I had the foil Overlord.
Yeah, but there's
'Cause
no foil for Sliver Queen.
Because I foiled that deck out. Where
Except unless you're talking about online. On Magic the Gathering
There's-
Online, there are foil Sliver
Oh,
Queens.
right. I remember what it was. Because there's the there's an oversized version of the card that's foil. That came
Okay.
with Commander's Eternal. Which is funny as hell.
Okay.
And even that's $95.
Yeah.
But I guess that's because it's like a weird... It's like a more collectible.
You can get a Sliver Queen on Magic Online for 0.02 tickets.
Oh, boy.
That's like 2 cents.
Oh,
the ticket's
man,
$1.
The physical. I like to hold it.
That's 310.
Actually, the cool thing I did with my Sliver deck, because it was all
Although
foiled
you
out.
could probably get a beat up one cheaper.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Oh, yeah. I did a neat thing with all the slivers, all of the basic minion slivers.
Yeah, you can get a damaged one for $200.
God damn, dude. See, this is where this is where my salt comes for Magic. Not that we need to get into it, but it's still just
Well, the
annoying.
reserve list sucks.
Yeah, no, but the whole thing,
Well, but it specifically sucks because Commander has made those cards a thing you want to play with.
yeah, but I
think Vintage is cool.
I
but-
dislike, and I understand why. I understand from entirely. I understand from a business perspective and everything else. Like the cards have the cards have fallen the way they've fallen. The fact that
There was a time where they needed the reserve list because they printed Chronicles and it destroyed it destroyed the collector market. But at this point, they could reprint those cards and it would be fucking fine because the reason those old cards are worth money is because they're fucking old.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't affect the price. It would affect it somewhat, but it would not affect the price of old duels that much. Well, old duels maybe.
And
Like specifically the
here's
revised ones or whatever, like the cheapest version of them.
here's the
But
thing.
like the other versions would be still incredibly valuable
I think
because they're old paper.
it's absolutely stupid. I want to use a lot of strong words, but I won't. I think it's stupid that they at this point have to give so much attention to the secondary market. Like fuck it. Here's the thing. It doesn't that if they reprinted even back in the day, right? It impacts the value of that collection, but who gives a shit? I don't think this ever should have been a thing where people were collecting it as an investment. If you want to collect it to have a binder full of the cards to look at, that's collecting for collecting's sake, you know? Like when I was little and I had Pokemon cards, I just wanted to look at the Pokemon cards. I didn't even play the game. And that's kind of what I want to do again. And I think it's I dislike that they're in this position. I understand that they have to maintain it now. Like this shit has gotten beyond that, but Like, fuck it. People shouldn't be trading a fucking house for Magic cards or whatever.
Well, I mean, old paper in good condition that people care about, that's actually is a collectible thing because paper, gets destroyed easily.
Yes.
It's not a thing that lasts.
But
I actually get it as a collectible in terms of things that are old.
no, the
it's
old
it's other shit. It's that I want my game pieces.
yes.
Also, like that shouldn't be the same thing. Those should be separate things.
And
You should be able to detach that.
see, this
and,
is where
and Wizards being unwilling to do that because of the reserve list, I think, is dumb.
this is where I agree. But at this point, they also have to consider all the people who have these valuable collections, and they don't like if you tank that, and then you have all this shit. There's
Well, I just don't think they. I don't think they do at this point.
Yeah. But like when I was trying to figure out, like, because I was talking about wanting to get like, if I could, I would love to get real cards. They don't need to be old. They could even be reprints as long as they're the exact same frame and art as the original card, like Bird Maiden. I don't need the original Bird Maiden from that set. It can be a reprint, even a proxy that is indistinguishable. I don't
In
give a
some
shit.
cases, though, they're not going to. They would not reprint it. A lot of those cases, they would not reprint it with the original art.
Join
Paying
me.
the artist would be expensive.
Well, join me in a journey to magical Christmas land.
Because I think because part of it is some early art, like Magic didn't own it. Like the artists got to keep the rights to the art, so that's why some like really old arts don't get reprinted at all.
Again, join me in magical Christmas land. Like,
I don't really want to. I don't like. I don't see the value in that part.
No. Well, first off, when I was thinking of this, I didn't think of that. So, joke's on you. I didn't know. But no, I was trying to think of a way for like someone like me to get the cards they want, but not give a shit about like the investment part of it, right? I don't want the old cards because they're worth stuff. I don't even care if like I pay $5 and the value tanks to nothing. I don't give a shit. I just want the card to look at, which is why I was looking at proxies. Because if I can't tell the difference, I don't care. It doesn't matter at all to me. The solution I was thinking of to this until I was like, wait, that's bad, is why don't they just print a bunch of non-legal cards? Then it would be fine.
They did. It was called Magic 30, and they were ridiculously
I
expensive.
fucking remember. I was like, wait, that already happened, and it was terrible.
It was a nightmare.
No, just the fact that
Everyone
I was
hated it.
Just the fact that I was thinking
those
of that as a
cards
solution.
barely exist even.
Oh yeah, no, it was the whole thing. Well, and even before that, they did the what was it? Collection? No, collector's edition. Yeah, collector's edition. And that like those are also
original collector's edition was fine. Like the price on that at the time was not like getting that now is ridiculous.
Yeah, but I'm saying like even that, at this point people don't care if it's not tournament legal or whatever. Like we've gone so far past that even if they printed like hey guys, promise you won't use this for playing, like you're not supposed to, it's just for collecting. People don't give a shit.
People are weird about cards printed by Magic Gathering, but like Gold Border Guy's Cradle is $100.
Still $100, yeah.
But Gaia's Cradle is like $500.
Yeah, dude. But I'm saying that doesn't, like, for the purposes of what I want the card for, $100 or $500 are in the exact same realm of this is never going to happen.
Sure.
Which like sucks. I would absolutely have a binder of those cards and just have them because I think they're neat. I like looking at them. I like looking at cards while I eat my cereal in the morning. And the best part is they're covered in the plastic by the binder, so if you like drop milk on them, they don't disintegrate.
If you just care about the art, though, there are cards you could get that would be worth it to you to have in a binder. It just is not Gaia's Cradle.
100%. But part of it is also like it would be cool to have one of each, like do the actual collection thing, Like I think that's cool, and it's kind of the same like have a complete set. just to have it all to look at. I mean, I wouldn't really care, except if I'm buying all of the cards in a set from like Mirage or whatever, except like 10 of them, then I'd be annoyed that I didn't have 10. Like, it's close enough that I would want to finish it out. But if it's something like Legends,
Sure.
I'm like, yeah, I don't like, okay, I'm getting 5 cards out of the set that are affordable. I don't care about completing it. But if I'm close, if I'm like 80% of the way there, 85, 90, I could get a full set of like Fallen Empires.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely like, I think in theory, and maybe someday I will
Just say
like, get the cards
most
that are
Magic
worth
cards
cents.
are actually cheaper than proxies cost.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. If you get enough proxies, they have like bulk discounts. That brings it down to where they're generally
Sure.
cheaper. I think at least I don't know. I don't know if it'd even out. When I was looking at bulk stuff, bulk proxies, it came out to like,
yeah.
it was like 10 cents a card, which I think is
Sure.
probably cheaper on average.
Probably. It's not cheaper than what those cards are worth. It's probably cheaper than what you can actually get them for.
Yeah.
When you want to get that many specific cards or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's, you know. And I plan on doing my little project where I go through and like just give the art and flavor text a thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm excited to see how that pans out. I might have been talking out my ass all these years. The art is better in old sets. Turns out statistically I like more of the art in new sets. Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
That was me with Pokemon Gen 5. I was like, these designs are shit. They're so terrible. Like, why are so many of them bad? And then I went through and I'm like, okay, they're not that bad. It's just that the ones that I don't like are really fucking bad, and it makes it feel like the average is worse. Also,
yeah,
it's not like I'm saying all the art is bad. Like, no one loves Seb McKinnon more than me.
Well, Seb McKinnon doesn't do Magic Card anymore.
Yeah, I know. Did he get controversied or did he just stop?
Yes.
Yeah. What was his deal? What was he doing?
I think there were sex pesting allegations. I don't really remember. The thing that got him was him showing up at like anti-vaccine rallies or something.
Right.
It was COVID stuff.
I like the man's
It was
art.
like the thing that was the thing that like fully got him out.
I like the man's art.
And Therese Nelson got canceled for being a TERF.
I think Therese Nelson was done a little tiny bit dirty. A little tiny bit. Here's the thing.
No, because the thing is, when you fall into that space, you're then like retweeting.
She wasn't retweeting.
And like sharing, like, or like whatever.
No.
You're falling in with
why,
fucking nutcases.
This is why I think she was being done a little dirty. She wasn't saying anything. She wasn't even retweeting anything. It was like kept complete, and not that I agree with the views, right? Not that, like, I think if someone is like Seb McKinnon shows up to like the rallies and shit, and there's other stuff, like, yeah, sure, obviously she was keeping everything to herself, and because of Twitter's thing where it shows you what people liked, like, then it's being a thing. But like, I don't know. I feel like that was maybe not that I disagree that Wizards stopped working with her. That's whatever. And like their company values and all that shit, like, that's fine. I think people, from what I recall, people are really hating on her, and I'm like, yeah, she has really shit views. Yeah. I think they're bad views, but also she was keeping them to herself. Like, she wasn't even retweeting things. She wasn't even retweeting anything.
Look, I'm not gonna get. I'm gonna side with the actual trans person who was protesting it at a pro tour.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna side with them.
Yeah, sure. Like, dude, nobody has more respect than me for someone who wrote that. What did they write? Trans rights on their guru lands? They did something with their guru lands, which are fucking expensive as hell. They desecrated those cards, and I
defacing cards.
I absolutely
that was a thing.
I absolutely support it. I just feel like people they were hating on her as if she was like crying this shit out on Twitter.
Well, they
like
didn't
J.K.
want
Rowling.
Wizards to work with her anymore.
Yeah, sure, and that's fine. But like, I do think there are different levels of dislike that can be administered. I just think people went overboard with their hatred. Is it?
Sure.
Like, they could have been like, "No, you're shit," and then just left it. But people were getting real.
That's not how the internet works.
I know it's not how the internet works. But there are other great artists that are working today. They got I think Sam Gway still does stuff. Rebecca Gway's protege.
I bought that Rebecca Gay Secret Lair. That was fire.
Yeah. Dude, that shit was good. I don't like Secret Layers, but I like some of the art.
I bought it because it had Stoneforge Mystic in it, and I didn't have a Stoneforge Mystic, but which is because I do still try, even if I'm over the mood about the Secret Lair art. I still try. There has to be like one card in there that I actually don't have that's worth it. Like, I couldn't justify the Jinji Ito one to myself.
Yeah.
Though I kind of wish I had, but
also, I gotta start work.
Okay.
We could probably do a round 2 of this. Like, I could keep. There's more stuff to talk about. It's Magic, baby. Feels good to be happy about it, though. Like, there are still the bits that I'm salty about, but like the fun and excitement of Magic is overweighing the pain points.
I didn't even get to talk about the parts of Magic that I like.
Nah, my bad.
Got nowhere near that. It's fine.
Well, give us a preview. Give us a preview for next.
I did feel kind of like, I don't know what I have to talk about. There are things I like it. I'm in a positive place with it, but we're here because Ben has thoughts, so that's fine. SoulCirclePodcast@gmail.com, SoulCirclePod on Twitter, Anchor.fm/SoulCircle, and I'm on Twitter @ComicPanels.